Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football Recap Show. We had two Monday night games last night. I'm going to recap them both, give my thoughts of what I thought, and I'll give give out game balls. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football trivia question, and it's a Kansas City Chiefs trivia question. Which linebacker was drafted by the Chiefs with the number 4 pick in the 1989 NFL Draft? I will have the answer later in the podcast. Well, it was Week 6 of Monday Night Football, and I hope you were ready for the football. We had two Monday night games last night. And in the first, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills 26-17 at Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo, New York. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes reached another personal milestone in Kansas City's 26-17 win over the Buffalo Bills on Monday night. Mahomes, who threw 225 yards and two scores, reached 90 career passing touchdowns of his career in 37th game. Breaking the NFL record for fewest games to 90 TD passes. Hall of Famer Dan Marino had the previous mark at 40 games. The reigning Super Bowl MVP was stellar as he connected with All-Pro tight end Travis Kelce on both touchdowns, but rookie running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire stole the show for the Chiefs offense. Edwards-Helaire led the Chiefs with 161 yards rushing as a team. Kansas City rushing as a team. Kansas City finished with 245 yards rushing, 245 yards, with the most since Mahomes took over as the starter in 2017. The Chiefs also had 46 rushing attempts, which is the most in 8 years under coach Andy Reid. Kansas City had 4 drives of 10 plays or more and dominated the first time of possession by more than 15 minutes. The Chiefs are off to their third 5-1 start in 4 seasons as they bounce back from a 40-32 loss to the Las Vegas Raiders on October 11th. Buffalo, on the other hand, lost its second straight. The Bills fell 42-16 at Tennessee last Tuesday, a game that was moved because of COVID-19 outbreaks on the Titans. And I gotta give the Chiefs credit. They really played a hell of a game Monday night, and the Bills, they just did not show up. They did not look good, and it was the Chiefs that dominated it. And you gotta give the game balls to the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, 21 of 26 carries and attempts, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 26 carries, 161 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. And Travis Kelce, 3 receptions, 39 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Buffalo jumped out to the 3-0 lead. Tyler Bass kicked a 48-yard field goal, and it was good. And they got as far as the Kansas City 48, and they had to just they settled for a field goal. And then it was KC scored their first touchdown, and it was 7-3 at the end of the first quarter, and then and then Buffalo scored a touchdown. It was 10-7 at the end of the first quarter. And then KC scored another touchdown, but the extra point was missed, and it was no good, and it was 13-10 at the break. And in the third, Dar Williams scored KC's third third touchdown of the game. And Dar Williams left guard for a 13-yard touchdown. The extra point was good. And it was 20-10 Chiefs. And in the fourth, the Chiefs had the Bills had a turnover on downs, and the Chiefs got the ball back. but they got as far as the Bills 37. They had to settle for a 37-yard field goal attempt, which was good, and it was 23-10 Chiefs. The Buffalo Bills scored their only other touchdown of the game. Josh Allen passed short middle to C.J. Beasley for the 8-yard touchdown. Tyler Bass' extra point was good. It was 23-17. Then the Chiefs got as far as the Bills 30. They settled for a 30-yard field goal, which is good. It was 26-17. And in the final seconds, the Chiefs just had they ran, I think, 3 or 4 plays, and they just kneeled, and that was basically it. The Chiefs get the win, 26-17. And I already told you who got the game balls, and I will have I'll recap the Arizona-Dallas game in just a moment. But first, it is time now to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football trivia question. Which linebacker was drafted by the Chiefs with the number 4 pick in the 1989 NFL Draft? And if you said Derek Thomas, DT, you are correct. Derek Thomas wore number 58 from 1989 until 2000. DT passed away in February of 2000 of a blood clot while recovering from severe injuries that he suffered in a car accident months earlier. His third and long foundation, run by his friend and teammate Neil Smith, continued his legacy of charity work. And Derek Thomas put up a lot of big numbers in his career. And I will have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. In the second Monday night game, the Arizona Cardinals beat the Dallas Cowboys in a blowout 38-10 last night at AT&T Stadium in Big D. Kyler Murray entered Monday's matchup with the Dallas Cowboys undefeated at AT&T Stadium. He left the field with his perfect record intact via a second quarter TKO. Murray's Arizona Cardinals torched the Cowboys on their home turf, capitalizing on multiple Dallas mistakes en route to a 38-10 victory. After a sloppy start by both offenses resulted in a scoreless first quarter, the Cardinals made the most of a pair of Ezekiel Elliott second quarter fumbles, converting both into touchdowns to take a 14-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. When Murray found Christian Kirk on an 80-yard touchdown bomb to extend the lead to 21-0 before halftime, the hapless Cowboys were done, and they were basically done. And this game was over before it even started. It was over. The Cowboys just had no chance in this game. If there was any second half hope, an Andy Dalton interception on the first possession of the third quarter slammed the doors shut, and it certainly did. The Cowboys just had no chance whatsoever in this game. Dalton couldn't have written a worse script for his first start in place of injured starting quarterback Dak Prescott. But Monday's loss wasn't all on him. Elliott's fumbles got the ball rolling for the Cardinals. A drop touchdown by Michael Gallup in the second quarter extended the Cowboys' woes. And Ezekiel Elliott's one man to blame, and Michael Gallup as well, besides Andy Dalton. Meanwhile, the Cardinals pounced on the Cowboys' mistakes, converting 4 Dallas turnovers into 24 points. We're the worst in the league taking care of football, Dallas coach Mike McCarthy said. It's frustrating to see that pattern here, and it is, to say the least. It added up to a banner homecoming for Murray, who finished 42-0 as a high school quarterback in Texas, with 3 of those wins arriving in state championships played at AT&T Stadium in Big D. He won another game in college at Jerry Jones Palace, leading Oklahoma to a Big 12 championship game win over rival Texas in 2018. Now he has a 1-0 mark as a pro in Dallas. Murray wasn't prolific on Monday, completing 9 of 24 pass attempts for 188 yards and a pair of touchdowns, but he didn't need to be. Arizona outplayed Dallas in every facet of the game. Murray added 74 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Kenyan Drake met little resistance en route to 164 yards rushing and a pair of touchdowns. And the Cardinals outgained the Cowboys 438 yards to 344 yards and won the turnover battle 4-0. After digging a 21-0 hole, the Cowboys had little choice but to force the passing game through their backup quarterback. Dalton completed 34 of 54 attempts for 266 yards with 2 interceptions. His only touchdown arrived via a meaningless pass to Amari Cooper with less than 3 minutes remaining. Dallas managed just 97 yards on the ground, with Elliott tallying 49 yards and his 2 fumbles on 12 carries. With the win, the Cardinals improved to 4-2 and keep pace with a hyper-competitive NFC West, and the Cowboys fall to 2-4. For the Cowboys, this is one note of solace following Monday's overwhelming loss. Somehow, they remain atop of the NFC East with a 2-4 record. The NFL's worst division came away from the weekend with a single win that the New York Giants claimed in an intra-division against the Washington football team. The Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles, and Washington are still looking up in the standings at Dallas with 1 win each. But that's little comfort to a Cowboys team reeling 6 games into a season that started with championship hopes. And that I don't think, with Dak Prescott being out for the season, those championship hopes are slim and none. They're very small. But I got to give credit to where credit is due. I got to give the game balls to the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray, 9 of 24 carries and attempts, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Kenyan Drake, 20 carries, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And Christian Kirk, 2 receptions, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Well, and week 6 is in the books, and it has concluded. So, to say the least, it was not a good night for the Dallas Cowboys. So they will have to regroup. And I went 7-7 on my picks and lost. My brother-in-law, Eric Hoyer, went 11-3. He beat me, so I'll have to try to bounce back in week 7. And which will begin on Thursday night with Philadelphia playing the New York Giants at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. The Browns will take on Cincy and Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati on Sunday. They're getting ready for that. We got a great Sunday night matchup for you. The Tampa Bay Bucks will take on the Las Vegas Raiders. And next Monday night, the Chicago Bears and the LA Rams will battle it out. That's just about going to do it for the Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football recap show. I'll be back tomorrow or Thursday with another podcast. Until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.